What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Um, we got UFL Week 7 to talk about. We also have NFL schedule release coming up on Wednesday. Got some games already announced, though, so we'll talk about those in a second once we get through the UFL recap here. So let's get to it. On Friday, we had the Defenders going to 5-2, 32-24 over the Brahmas. Big time win for DC, keep the top spot in the XFL conference by virtue of their tie breaking win over St. Louis. Brahmas, tough day once again. Scored a lot more points than they had in the last two, with the 6 total the last 2 games combined. But big time production on offense for Kevin Hogan in this one. Just could not get it done. DC came back once again, and Jordan Ta'amu. And really, this game hinged on the end of the first half. Kevin Hogan, the Brahmas, looked like they were going to get a field goal at least. And I believe that would have put them up 12-6 or 12-3. Trying to remember the game here, but yeah, so Brahmas going in would have been 15-6 at halftime at the, more than likely if they would have gotten that field goal or even a touchdown. The time mismanagement was pretty bad for Peyton Pardee there at the end. And then Kevin Hogan snapped the ball and running around and butt fumble, the new butt fumble. We have one. It's Kevin Hogan. And fumbled the ball, and Anthony Hines picked it up, returned it for a touchdown, and DC went in, tied at half at 12 after not getting the point after attempt. But yeah, that was really the play of the game, because then in the second half, it was 20-12 in favor of DC on the scoreboard there. So really big time play for the DC defense, which had gotten blitzed, and they still did. I mean, 24 points is a decent amount in this league, considering what some of the defenses have been giving up, even though the scoring has gone up tremendously. But yeah, DC was down 12-6 in the first half, 18-12 in the third quarter, and then it was all DC from then on, essentially. San Antonio got within 1, but then DC scored on an absolutely ridiculous call from Fred Keiss, throwing a touchdown pass to offensive lineman Gunnar Britton, which was fantastic to watch there. Jordan Ta'amu continues to lead the league in passing, is improving his accuracy a lot as well. The last 2 games, 79.2%, 278, 3 touchdowns, and just a couple points short of a perfect QB rating there. Kevin Hogan played well for sure, 64.5%, a lot better than last week anyways. 230, 2 touchdowns, 5 carries, 32 yards, and a fumble at the end of the first half, like I mentioned. Ja'Shawn Corbin, big 100-yard day for him on the ground, 9 carries, 109 yards, touchdown, and a 32-yard reception. DC, Deion Jackson got in the end zone for DC. Braylon Sanders did as well. He led the game in receiving on his only reception, 76 yards for a touchdown. Big time play, only target of the game for him as well. Other touchdowns coming from Cornell Powell, the wide receiver for DC. I mentioned offensive lineman Gunnar Britton with a 4-yard touchdown reception, and then touchdowns for San Antonio came by way of tight end Steven Stylianos and Elise Mack, both catching touchdowns for the Brahmas. Defensively, of course, it's Anthony Hines. 9 tackles, 4 solos, fumble return for a touchdown, 51 yards of the house. But Joe Wallace, his co-defensive player of this game, he was a monster up front in the middle. 6 tackles, 3 solos, came into the game with 1.5 sacks on the season. He got 2 in this game, tacked on 3 tackles for loss as well. So big time performance for Hines and Wallace there in this game. Brahmas plus 9.5. They covered over 37 easily. 56 that game. Saturday, we had the Panthers over the Renegades. This was by far, I think, the best game of the weekend. A wild flurry of a comeback for Michigan. They were down. They went up 9-3, and then they went down 18-9. In the beginning of the fourth quarter. 12:55 to go in the fourth quarter. They were down 9 points, and the fourth quarter was wild. Michigan ended up scoring a touchdown with about 6 minutes to go there. Went for 3 to tie the game, didn't get it. A penalty was called on Arlington, and moved it 5 yards closer. They got the 3-point conversion to tie it at 18. And then Arlington goes down and scores. They go for 2. I didn't understand that play calling for Bob Stoops' squad. Why go for 2? They went for 2 most of the year, I understand. But it doesn't make sense to me. Take the lead. Take the 7-point lead and make Michigan make a decision if they're going to score. Make them go for 1 to tie or 2 for the win. I would have liked Arlington to go for 1. That would have been my strategy anyways if I was coaching, just to have a 7-point lead and put the onus on them to make the decision of tie or win. So I don't know. That was just me. Because it ultimately bit Arlington in the butt. Michigan went down, scored a little bit of a controversy for the clock stoppage at 1 second. Bryce Perkins running with 7 seconds to go and got tackled, touched down with 2 seconds to go. Michigan got the timeout at 1 second. Toa ran the game-tying touchdown in, and then Toa ran the game-winning 1-point conversion in as well. So, ridiculous game here on a Saturday afternoon, but Panthers getting the win, keeping pace in the USFL conference at the top there. Luis Perez, 73.5%, 314, 2 touchdowns. The King of Spring had a great game in the loss. Really detrimental to Arlington. They are 2 games back now in the XFL conference behind DC and St. Louis. So it's going to be very difficult with just 3 games left for Arlington to make the playoffs. Bryce Perkins, 53.6%, 231, a touchdown, 8 carries, 60 yards, touchdown, a fumble, and a 3-point conversion. I think Jordan Ta'amu kind of got the MVP back this week based off the performances we saw, although this was a ridiculous comeback for Michigan at the end. But I still think it's very close between the two. And like they were kind of talking about on the broadcast, I think it was the DC game. It's going to be difficult for Ta'amu if they end up close. The Panthers beat the Defenders, so I think it's tough when you have that over your head for Jordan Ta'amu's MVP case. But I still think the stats, especially with him improving his completion percentage the last 2 weeks, I think Jordan Ta'amu has a good shot at winning it. Running back Day Hunter led the game in non-quarterback rushing, 18 carries, 35 yards for the Renegades. Running back there, 1.9 yards per carry, poultry there. But he caught 4 of his 5 targets for 39 yards. Mentioned Toa Not a lot of room on the ground, just 3.1 per carry, but did score the game-tying touchdown, the game-winning 1-point conversion. Arlington wide receiver Tyler Vaughn's had himself a game, caught 9 of his 10 targets for 127 yards and a touchdown. Sal Cannelli getting in the end zone, the Renegades tight end there as well. Michigan wide receiver Malik Turner had a great game, 4 catches, 49 yards on 7 targets, caught a touchdown, and the at the time game-tying 3-point conversion that tied it at 18. Defensively, I got to go with Michigan defensive end Kenny Willekes, 5 tackles, 4 solos, sack, 3 tackles for loss. Big time performance for him. And then kicker Lucas Haversick, also a great game for the losing kicker there. Made all 4 of his field goals, 33 for a long there. Renegades +2 covered, over 43, 49 in that one. Yesterday on Mother's Day, Stallions 33-25 over the Roughnecks. Another comeback. We had this weekend the Stallions. Houston came out firing. They were up 18-6, 25-6 with 6 minutes to go in the second quarter. Now Birmingham did get the ball at the end of the half there, made it a little bit of a game going into halftime, 12-25. But the massive comeback, the Stallions scoring 27 unanswered points to end this game here, shut out Houston in the second half. And again, just like Arlington, it's going to be a rough ride for Houston the last 3 weeks to make the playoffs. They are, like I said, in the same position as Arlington, 2 games back of both Michigan and Birmingham in the USFL conference. What's up, Jimmy?
What up? Finally good. Love making budgets for my financial planner. It's like, hey, budget for me. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, for sure. Sure you didn't have anything, but went through the DC and the Michigan games already. The Michigan game was wild.
Yeah,
Michigan
I heard about that one.
Yeah. But yeah, in this one, Case Cookus, 50% completion, 199, touchdown, a pick, 4 carries, 36 yards. He got dinged up. So just like this entire season, Birmingham, it's another quarterback is playing for Birmingham. I believe this was their 5th quarterback to play this year. Jamar Smith, the guy that was on the 2022 USFL championship winning team, came back a couple weeks ago, was the 3rd quarterback once when Andrew Peasley was the backup, but he got hurt. So Jamar Smith elevated to the number 2. Jalen Morton was the number 3 this week, who's also a former Stallion in his own right. Jamar Smith, though, came on, won the game. 3 of 5, 60%, 63 yards, a rushing touchdown. He looked pretty good out there. Zaquandre White had a great game on the ground for Houston, though. 9 carries, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 catches for 8 yards. Houston was very impressive offensively to start. I had the under in this game. It lost in the first half, which was fun. But yeah, Ricky Person scoring a touchdown on the ground, as did his running mate CJ Marable for Birmingham. Big rushing attack, 142 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns for Birmingham there. Tight end Jay Sternberger led the game in receiving for the Stallions, caught 4 of his 7 targets, 74 yards, a touchdown. And touchdown for Houston going to wide receiver Kiki Chisholm there. Jalen McClendon, though, 65.2%, 167, a touchdown. Pretty solid. Once again, Houston was going for 3 in a row in this game. And again, they're in the same boat as Arlington, where it's like, if they win, it's going to make it really interesting. I don't think it's as interesting now, because we have 4 teams at the top, 2 in each division that are 2 games clear. So not totally sure what the entire league schedule looks like the last 3 weeks, but it seems like we have our 4 teams that are going to make the playoffs. Now it's really just about, all right, who's going to host, which we have to figure out these last 3 weeks. Defensively, there wasn't a ton of stats. I am going to go with the guy that I'll go with the winning side, I guess. Stallions, corner Mario Goodrich, 2 tackles, a solo, pass defense, 2 forced fumbles. Damon Arnett didn't have any tackles, but the Houston corner, 1 pick, 2 pass defense, pretty solid game as well. Former first-round pick of the Raiders. Stallions, -6 covered, over 37.5. I had 38.5 under. It was great. And the last game of week 7, Battlehawks over the Showboats, 19-9. The stinker of the weekend, I would say, for sure. It was the last game, and it was the worst game. Really, I mean, there was not much excitement to this one. Just 28 points, but Dresser win again. I know Memphis. They became the first team to be eliminated this year, so I don't think I saw that eliminated meme out there, but I'm sure it is somewhere in the X sphere. But yeah, Dresser win. I still think he's playing pretty well. 60%, 196, a touchdown, a fumble. Just trying to find that win, as his last name is. But yeah, 0-2 so far this year, but playing pretty well. Which, again, it's nice to win games, but what is more important in this league is to put film on for the NFL. So, and he's a guy that's been in the NFL. He's been with the Rams. He was with the Rams for quite a while, a couple of years, anyways, under Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff. I believe he was there when Jared Goff was there. I could be wrong, but anyways. Max Duggan. Talk about a guy that's been impressive. He has improved every single week he has started so far. I have been highly impressed with his progression, especially passing the ball is very good in this one, 65.2%. Only 158 yards. That's, 10 point whatever yards per completion. But not a lot of deep stuff this week anyways. He did the last 2 weeks. The deep balls to Hakeem Butler really hit. But was efficient and did have a turnover, 158, touchdown, a pick, 10 carries, 57 yards, touchdown. That's the big thing you're going to get with Max Duggan. That's what we've seen so far is him running the ball and his toughness running the ball. So he did get banged up in this game. He got blasted on one, and wasn't sure if he was going to come back in, but he stayed in. He was good. Deneric Prince led the non-quarterbacks in rushing for Memphis, 17 carries, 44 yards, just 2.6 per carry. Did catch all 6 of his targets for 14 yards there. Memphis wide receiver Jonathan Adams led the game in receiving, caught 4 of his 8 targets for 69 yards, touchdown. Wide receiver Ja'Cour Pearson also catching a touchdown on his 6 targets for St. Louis. And defensively, again, not a ton of stats in this one. I'm going to go with St. Louis defensive tackle Isaiah Mack, 7 tackles, 4 solos, sack, 1 forced fumble. Pretty good effort for an interior defensive lineman to lead the game in tackles. Battlehawks -4.5, covered easily, under 39.5 easily as well. No breaking news, really. It was breaking a couple days ago, but we do have some breaking news, I guess. But we'll just it's fine. College football transfer portal note: LSU running back John Emery, he is committed to UTSA. Really solid get for Coach Traylor there, and the Roadrunners Emery's a guy that's experienced back and unfortunately has had some injuries, so derailed his career, but hopefully gets on track there. I think this is should be his last year at UTSA. UFL news. One transaction note to the Stallions signing former Vipers and Showboats edge rusher Maximilian or Max Roberts. Really solid last year for Memphis. 4.5 sacks, 4 tackles for loss. Not really sure why he wasn't on a roster. I don't know if he was injured or whatnot, but yeah, good to see Max Roberts back, and hopefully he can get on the field with Birmingham. I mean, their defense is stacked, so I'm not sure if he will or not, but hopefully. NFL news. Saints quarterback Derek Carr has retired. Degenerative rotator cuff injury. Sucks, but Oakland Raiders 2014 second round pick, 36th overall. Oakland and Las Vegas from 14 to 22. Saints the last 2 years, 23 and 24. 169 regular season games, all of them start. 77 and 92 career record, 65.1% completion. How about 41,245 passing yards, 257 touchdowns, 112 picks, 92.8 passer rating, 35 game-winning drives, 956 rush yards, 7 rushing touchdowns. The wildest thing, only 1 career playoff game. And they lost. That was against the Bengals a couple years ago in Cincinnati. 53.7% completion, 310, 1 touchdown, a pick, 69.2 passer rating there. 4-time Pro Bowler. Good on him. He's saving the Saints $30 million. He's not forcing them. He is foregoing the $30 million guaranteed that he was supposed to make this year. Did get the $10 million roster bonus, though, so the Saints are not asking for that back. And it's going to be open competition, head coach Kellen Moore said. Second-round rookie QB Tyler Shuff, Jake Hayner, and who got drafted 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, I should say. And then Spencer Rattler, drafted last year. So Jake Hayner 2 years ago, Rattler last year. Yeah. So yeah, those are the guys that are going to fight for the new Saints starting QB. But Derek Carr is an interesting one, Jimmy. He never had the awards, he never had the playoff success, but a lot of yards. 40. I don't know what he ranked. He probably doesn't rank that high, actually. Yeah, I mean, Brady's got 89K, you know. I mean, he actually does. He's pretty high. 22nd all time on the passing list. I mean, he has more. I'm gonna do it, Jimmy. Anyways, I know what you're gonna say, but he has more passing yards than Joe Montana. Johnny Unitas, that's impressive. My goodness, with the time that he played over 40K, my gosh. He has more passing yards than Boomer Esiason, Donovan McNabb, Matt Hasselbeck, Alex Smith, Jim Kelly. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He also had a losing record. So, but I don't think he's ever going to get there. He's not like a Phillip Rivers, right? Phillip Rivers 6th all time in passing yards. And the Chargers went to the playoffs a bunch of times under Phillip Rivers, even though they never went to the Super Bowl. And I think the Phillip Rivers argument has already been made because of Dan Marino. I don't know if that's a adequate comparison, but when you look at it, just strictly passing yards, I mean, Phillip Rivers has more passing yards than Dan Marino. But yeah, I don't know. Really solid career though. Hate to see it end in injury.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and especially with Carr too. It's just there really is a before broken leg, after broken leg, like part of his game. Like you could really tell because it was his plant leg, right? It was his right leg that he broke.
I believe so.
I believe so. I mean, and that affects quarterbacks very, very much. I mean, we're seeing it. We saw with Aaron Rodgers and Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Achilles and broken leg different, but in your plant leg, especially with Kirk Cousins, you see it. Like, I think we saw it with Carr. Coming back after an injury, it really affects you as a quarterback for the rest of your career. So, I mean, I think he was also for most of his early career with the Raiders, he was a victim of just horrific management. I mean, the Raiders, I don't think they've ever had good management in the 21st century. So it's just unfortunate. I know Saints fans absolutely despise him. I've heard the rumors about them genuinely believing that, he faked injuries or milked injuries and the whole thing of like with hospital passes with Chris Olave. I know a lot of people don't like the way he throws the ball for Olave. I get it, but at the same time, like I'm not going to question this guy's, want to play. I really do think Carr is a competitor, and his body just gave out on them, and it probably gave out of him years before this year. It was probably giving out on him as soon as his time in Oakland. Oh, my dog just walked in. As soon as his time in Oakland. So, yeah, a very polarizing career. I think this is going to be one of those quarterbacks that you either respect him and think he's solid or you just absolutely despise. I don't think there's any between when it comes to Carr.
Yeah. Well, he can always say he had a better career than his brother. So
that is true.
But yeah, especially the second round pick, I think he turned out pretty good. Also the Pro Bowls, obviously, anyone that played in the time he played, especially him playing in the AFC most of his career. I mean, come on, you're not going to make a Pro Bowl when you're playing against Brady and Peyton early in his career. Phillip Rivers was in the same division.
And Pat Mahomes,
Yeah, later in his career, Pat Mahomes. Yeah.
I mean, that AFC West never really gave Oakland or Vegas a chance anytime he was there.
Yeah. All right, couple injuries. Talk about linebackers. Broncos linebacker Drake Greenlaw had the quad injury earlier this offseason. On track, though, for training camp, head coach Sean Payton said. So very good news for their new linebacker there. The Browns, big news today, placing linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah on the PUP list. Neck injury out for the season. So he's the second player now to be placed on the PUP list and out for the year. Jonathan Brooks, Panthers last week as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of his neck injury. You probably know more than I do, but.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like nothing at first. Like I remember it was like, oh, it looks like he might get back to practice as early as the week after the injury, and then it just felt like they kept discovering something wrong with his neck, and it really went from like week to week to it could be career ending in what felt like days. So just hoping for the best for him. I know he's shown a lot of toughness and wanting to come back. He's emphasized a desire to continue his NFL career. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, seen it before. Obviously not as blatant as Ryan Shazier, where he got injured and very scary on the field and boarded, and then was a whole paralyzed and walked and everything like that. But yeah, hope for the best for him as well. 2026. Couple signings to note: the Raiders signed former Cowboys linebacker Jalen Smith. So Jalen Smith back in the league after one season hiatus. Last played in 2023 with the Raiders. The last team he was on in 2023 was the Steelers on their practice squad, but last game he played was with Vegas in 2023. So back with them, and we'll see what he's got. He's 29 now, and you talk about pre versus post injury. I mean, he's another guy that's like he completely fell off once he got injured. And I wanted to note this: the Packers, and you have Taylor on your shirt, Jimmy, so it's just perfect.
My alma mater.
The Packers, they signed Laurier, undrafted free agent quarterback Taylor Elgersma, the Canadian stud. I retweeted the post about this, and check that out if you didn't see it, because I thought my analysis was pretty solid. The What is up, Mark?
Hey guys, what's going on?
Nothing much, man. We're almost at the end of the show. We're getting to my breakdown of Taylor Elgersma signing with the Packers. So I saw this kid at the Senior Bowl, had no clue who he was. I heard there was this Canadian quarterback, and I was like, I'm intrigued. I'll look at him, And I mean, I was highly impressed. He had never played American football. The colleges in Canada, they play the CFL rules. So, I said great player. I thought his work at the Senior Bowl might have jumped. I did really think he had a good chance at getting drafted late potentially, but went undrafted. And great size, mobility is surprising for how big he is. I believe he's 6'4", 6'5". Solid arm, and like I said, just needs to get more reps of American football. He's intelligent, great personality as well. So yeah, I'm hoping the best for Taylor Elgersma with Green Bay. Probably not going to make the roster. I think they already have their quarterbacks kind of set in Green Bay, but good experience nonetheless to try to latch on with someone else. And a great person to learn from in Matt LaFleur.
Can't argue with that situation.
Yeah, for sure. And Jimmy, I'm surprised you didn't stop me. Forgot about talking schedule.
Oh, that's right. Big thing.
Well, yeah, Mark, you did come on at a good time. The schedule.
I did. I would have been here earlier. I got caught up with bedtime.
We totally forgot to talk about the schedule because I skipped into Derek Carr instead. But yeah, so we have the schedule coming on Wednesday evening, I believe it is. But we have some trickles, leaks, like they always do every year now. So
we know who's kicking it off.
Opening night. Go Birds, baby. Super Bowl 59, defending champ, Philadelphia Eagles, will be at home starting their defense against their division rival, the Dallas Cowboys. Excellent game. I'm excited.
I can't complain with that matchup. You guys have already talked about it, but Pickens being in a new uniform, I think that's a great way to kick off the 2025 season.
Yeah, and the last 20 defending Super Bowl champs are 15-5 on opening night, including the Chiefs last year. So,
yep,
got a good chance at it history-wise. And they have already put the betting line out. It's 7 for Philadelphia.
Wow. Well, I mean, it's a long ways to go, though. Long ways to go.
Yeah, for sure. I like it. Give me the 7 right now, May 12th. We're locking 7 in on opening night.
But by the time you get to that game, it's 3.5. It's 3.5.
Maybe. I don't know. We also got a couple other games announced today. I guess I'll kind of go in order. Thanksgiving night, primetime on Prime. The Chicago Bears are coming to Philadelphia. So we'll have some turkey in Philly at night. I'm excited. I don't remember the last time one of my teams played on Thanksgiving. So I'm excited to watch Philly on Thanksgiving.
Will it be an actual like whole bird, or are you guys going to make like turkey Philly cheesesteak type of sandwiches?
I don't know. I'm sure you can make personally, I would not substitute the meat out, but yeah, I don't know. You just put some cheese whiz on the turkey. It'll be good.
There you go.
I don't know. I know there's a lot of cheesesteak fanatics out there that are like, bruh, what are you talking about? Cheese whiz. You got to put the regular sliced cheese on. You can't. I like the cheese whiz. I don't know. It's fine for me. But yeah, Jimmy, you got anything on that one though? The Bears. The Bears. They got a couple big time games already. NFL thinks schedule makers think they're going to be good.
I mean, I don't blame them. They've had a good offseason. They got the sexy new hire, Ben Johnson, the coach everyone wanted the match with Caleb Williams, a quarterback many people believe can be a generational talent. I mean, they've been champions of the offseason for 3 straight years. At some point, it's got to translate to the regular season, right? And I mean, if it doesn't, then at least we Viking fans get to watch them get smothered on national television, which would be great TV for me.
I mean, and man, you hit it on the needle there. I guess my question with that division is that division going to be a juggernaut, or is a team going to totally fall off and then a 3-team race, or is everybody going to beat each other up and they're all going to be in contention? That's
we all
the only
thought
thing
that
I think
year.
about that division is like.
Yeah, we all thought that last year. I mean, if you don't remember, last year Bears started 4-2.
Yep.
And lost 10 in a row.
Yep.
So I think we'll probably be
Bears fans of the Hail Mary, man.
Oh yeah, that Hail Mary in Washington ended their season essentially. I think we'll probably see 1, maybe even 2 teams fall off. I think until they prove they can, I still put the Bears at the bottom of the division.
Right.
But I still see them at like 7-10, 8-9. That's pretty solid. I think my Vikings are pretty volatile because as much as we all believe in JJ McCarthy, and
you just don't know yet.
You just don't know until you know. And he's basically going to have the rookie growing pains that we didn't see last year because he didn't play last year.
Yeah.
After that, it gets interesting because I don't really know about the Lions. They didn't lose anyone. And they got DJ Reed, which is a really good pickup, but a complete
coaching
mix up in the coaching staff. OC's gone, DC's gone. Can MCDC, really be a coach that really gets the X's and O's? We know he's a great motivator. He's a great guy in the locker room. But it's like, hey, when you lose probably the best offensive mind in the game and a very steady guy in Aaron Glenn, can you step up?
100%.
Yeah, and this will probably be this upcoming year will be kind of, I don't want to say make or break for Detroit, but it's like, hey, you got a lot of money that needs to be spent after next season. You really got to make this last season, this season that you just went through, kind of a bad memory that led into good stuff. Because if you
Yeah.
don't make up for what happened last year, like it's going to be a big what if. And then Packers, what we saw of Jordan Love is kind of iffy. I'll be honest, it was kind of iffy. I wasn't blown away by his performance. When he's good, he's good. But he is a Jekyll and Hyde quarterback. When he's on, he's on. When he's bad, he is throwing
He's
four
bad.
interceptions.
He's bad.
He's throwing 4 or 5 interceptions and
Yeah.
single-handedly.
And he's not. He doesn't have a great. I don't know if this is fair to say. You know, I don't play in the NFL, but he doesn't have a great deep ball compared to some of the younger quarterbacks that you see it do week in and week out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think what happens, he gets too much air under the ball and it hangs, and then defensive backs can like wait and sit on the ball. That being said, Matt LaFleur is really smart with him. He knows how to get that weakness out of him. He doesn't rely on him to throw over the top often. But yeah, I mean, I think the NFC North, as much as it looks like a powerhouse on paper, it wouldn't surprise me if it became a paper tiger division where like two teams by like week 9 are like, what the hell is going on here? Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if we're in week 10 and like the Bears are like 3-6 and the Vikings are 4-5 and maybe the Packers are like 5-5 and we're like, what's going on here? Like, I thought this division was supposed to be fantastic. You know, who knows? I'm up in the air about the
division. And I guess I bring that up not to prolong the show, but I've seen that with the Niners and the Rams and the Seahawks, and then you see that with the Browns, Bengals, Steelers, Ravens. They're all right there, but I look at it as one of the most intriguing divisions because you had a lot of wins last year and you don't know what's going to happen this year, but I still think it's going to be a tight race. It might not be 14 wins or 12 wins. It might be 10, 9, 8, 7, and who wins that division.
I still think it's the Lions and everyone else. I'm a big believer in Kelvin Shepherd on defense. I think that's not going to be as big of a loss as people think. I think Kelvin Shepherd's very comparable to Aaron Glenn. The offensive coordinator switch is more problematic for me. I have no clue who John Morton is. But they still had the personnel. They got better with the draft and the free agents that they brought in. So I still think the Lions are the top team. I would put the Packers second again because of personnel. I think regardless of the, receiver, whatnot, and who's number one, whatever. By the way, Brian Gutekunst still said that Jaden Reed is their number one receiver, by the way. I still like the defense in Green Bay. Jeff Hafley is an excellent coordinator. So I think the defense is still going to be solid regardless of the offense. I'd put the Vikings third right now because of the personnel that they have and the season that they had last year. But I'm not a big JJ fan. So prove me wrong, sure. The Bears for sure are the wild card in that division. They have the players just like we thought last year, but they got a lot better on the offensive line. They got even better on defense, which is ridiculous. So I think the Bears the wild card. See how Ben Johnson coaches that team, and see what the repertoire is with him and Caleb. But yeah, I think every team in that division should have at least 7 wins.
It's tough.
Week 16, Saturday, doubleheader. The Eagles once again. Of course, they're the Super Bowl champs. They're going to get a lot of special games. They are in Washington, so that could be a big one. Obviously, we don't know who they're playing week 17. You would have to think, based off playing Dallas week 1, playing Washington week 16. More than likely, the Giants, I would think, are going to be week 17, whether that's in Jersey or in Philly. I would hope that it's in Philly so we don't have to go back-to-back away games at the end of the year. even though it's not that far for either of the trips. But yeah, that's going to be a big one. It could be, depending on regression with Washington. Great year last year, but we see it all too often. Year 2 of a quarterback, they usually dip in year 2, and then it's back up on year 3. Because year 3 is when we finally see what they're all about for sure with the consistency. Because year 2, it's like, well, we got all this film on them now. We know how to stop them, and you see that. So I don't know. I think Washington's going to regress a little. I still think they're a playoff team. Dan Quinn's a great coach. Still think they're the second best team in that division. But yeah, that's week 16 Saturday is going to be a big matchup. And then Leia mentioned Chicago again, another primetime spot. They're Packers at the Bears, week 16 Saturday. So, yeah. And then the only other one that I have written down so far is Christmas night. We have an AFC West showdown. Chiefs playing on Christmas again. Broncos at the Chiefs. That could be big too. I'm not saying anything about the Broncos, but I will say I was right last year, people. I was right. I tried to tell y'all about Bo Nix to Denver for 1 in the draft. Thought it was a perfect pairing. They had an incredible year. And again, though, maybe dips a little bit because of defenses knowing his tendencies this year. But still like Denver. They got a little bit better. I still question their receiving core a little bit. But the defense got even better, which that defense was lights out. And still think it was a mistake to draft Jahdae Barron in the first round. But, I mean, they have 2 shutdown corners now. So 3 if you count Riley Moss as well. So, yeah. But Riley Moss got picked on quite a bit if I remember watching the Broncos down the stretch. So,
yeah.
But, yeah, those are the games I have so far that I saw. I don't go out there looking for the leaks, though. Like, I know some people do that, but
I did not. Can't say I did.
Yeah, but I'm excited. We're getting more football, and every little bit we get closer to September 4th. So, well, the schedule on that's a show. Yeah, there's nothing else. Well, we'll have the schedule on Wednesday, so that means Friday is our first off-season recap. And we'll do a little bit of season preview. I was going to have us pick records, but then I was like, we're not going to pick records in May and June. So I'll wait, and we'll pick records later in the offseason in August. But we're going to start with Mark's team on Friday. And we're doing reverse ends of the draft. We're pairing those 2 teams up. So it's Titans-Rams. On Friday. And, of course, we'll get to UFL Week 8 preview as well on Friday. Next Monday, we'll be back talking UFL Week 8, recap all the games there, and continue our off-season recap with the 2 AFC South squads, the Jags, and the only other team that didn't have a first-round pick with the Texans as well. So that'll be next Monday. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and X. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and TikTok at FAA.podcast. We will see y'all back for Football Friday.